guys, what's up? Welcome back to the show. If you are new to the channel, welcome to my channel. So I know I'm a little bit late discussing this, but I've been super busy, right? So I wanted to go over my opinion after listening to the audio, the recordings of Kelsey's original testimony, the recordings of the jail call with Torey Lanez and Kelsey. Just after listening to those recordings, in my opinion, I see why there was a guilty verdict now. So initially, all I had to go off of was the reporting of, YouTubers or commentators or some of the attorneys that was reporting back on YouTube that were actually at the courthouse during the actual trial. So all I had to go off was what they were relaying back on the internet. And based off of that, I got the gist of it was that the prosecution did not do a thorough job. Pretty much in most people's opinion, the prosecution left a lot of loose ends. There was some things that they could have further investigated on, right? Particularly some of the things that was said on social media versus what Meg's original statement was, right? So first, I would like to say congratulations to Meg for getting some type of justice. I would like to see how they're going to maneuver as far as her career now, because there's a lot of people, of course, that disagree with the verdict. And of course, it's going to come down to, oh, this is Meg's fault, which really it's the state, right? That was the case, was Torey Lanez versus the state, right? Not Torey Lanez versus Meg. But I am happy she got justice. She got shot in the foot. So definitely somebody needed to be held accountable for that. Initially, I thought that Torey Lanez was going to get a not guilty verdict, at least on the higher charges, just because only of what I was hearing on the internet, what people were coming back and reporting that were actually at the courthouse. However, shout out to Neek at Night, because she was the first person that I'm aware of that went and got all of the recordings and released the audio online. So shout out to her, because I was able to listen to the full audio of Kelsey's pre-recorded testimony, okay, a pre-recorded statement. And based off of that, I got a clearer picture, and I definitely understood how he ended up getting the guilty verdict. Really, Daenerys? Sorry, that's my dog, y'all. Anyway, so I definitely had a clearer understanding of how the jury came up with a guilty verdict. And a lot of people were saying, well, why did Kelsey plead the fifth? Which I was confused about that as well. But when you think about it, throughout the trial, the main thing that Torey Lanez's attorney kept on, based off what I was looking up online and who was reporting, basically his whole thing was trying to make it where it's oh, it's possible that Kelsey could have shot the gun, right? The bullets could have came from her or whatever. So I think that was one of the reasons why Kelsey ended up pleading the fifth and said, they could try to pin this on me, because they have to put reasonable doubt, and because it was three of us kind of entangled in this situation. Of course, Meg's not the shooter; she's the victim here. So of course, the next logical thing, probably her attorneys, I'm assuming, probably, had a sit down with her and said, hey, these are some of the ways that the trial could end up going. These are some of the tactics that his attorney may try to use, and that puts you in the center of this. The safest thing you can do is probably plead the fifth, or request, let me rephrase it, or request use immunity, so that whatever testimony that you're giving right now cannot be held against you in any shape, form, or fashion. Now, the witness, the main witness, the guy who was pretty much, it was his property where the shooting took place, it was stated that he had said some extra things, or kind of elaborated on other things that weren't necessarily originally stated in his original statement. So it's not really clear if he just was still dealing with the trauma of that, and with all the chaos going on, it could have been a little bit confusing, or I don't know what the deal was with that, but who knows. He had stated that he felt he stated that he saw two girls fighting. I don't know how true that is. Maybe not. But based off of Kelsey's testimony, it was Torey who assaulted her. So for me, I'm more or less leaning towards Kelsey's side of the story, because if you listen to the audio, she seems very genuine. Like I said, she could be not telling the truth, but if she is not telling the truth, then she's a damn good actress, right? Really? Sorry, you guys, my phone fell. Anyway, but based off of Kelsey's pre-recorded testimony, she seems very believable, very credible, and very genuine. As I stated before, she could not be telling the truth. If she's not, then I think the girl needs to definitely go into acting, because she did a damn good job if she was not telling the truth. But from what I heard, she seems very consistent and very genuine in what she stated occurred. And I was just appalled at the fact that based off of her testimony, that Meg Thee Stallion didn't even call her after the incident happened. Like, I get that Meg was traumatized because she got shot, had bullet fragments in her foot. But at the same time, if you go back and listen to the testimony that Kelsey originally gave prior to trial, you will hear that she stated that Torey attacked her because she was trying to take up for Meg. So him and Meg were in the car arguing because initially they were at Kylie's house. They left Kylie's house with Torey Lanez's driver. So they arrived with Meg's stylist. I forget his name, but they arrived with another person. But then Meg said, no, we're going to leave with Torey. So they took all of the things out of that person's vehicle and they put it into Torey's vehicle, his driver. Meg was ready to go, but Torey was not. So they apparently had left, but then Meg said that she forgot her shoe, and so they turned around and went back to Kylie's house. Kelsey stayed in the car, but then the next thing you know, Meg is coming out with Torey, and there's some kind of dispute going on, and Meg is saying, girl, we got to get the hell out of here, whatever. And Kelsey's like, wait, what do you mean we got to go? So then they get in the car, and then they're kind of going back and forth, and then Kelsey jumps in because she says that Torey was being very disrespectful and calling Meg vulgar names. So she jumps in and says, hey, that's my friend. You can't talk to her like that. Don't talk to my friend like that. And then he gets mad and says, talk to your friend. Let me tell you how fake your friend is. And this is when apparently he revealed that, he was also messing with Megan and her, and how Megan had supposedly had messed with someone else that Kelsey had messed with in the past and this and that. But still, some kind of way, Kelsey was still trying to take up for Meg. Torey gets mad with Kelsey and threatens to shoot her. This is all according to Kelsey's testimony. And then him and Meg are still going back and forth. And then something ensued. I don't remember the clear detail on that. You're more than welcome to go to Neek at Night's YouTube and listen to the full audio, because it's a long audio. So whatever occurred, eventually they end up outside of the car. Meg ends up getting shot, in the foot, or the bullet fragments are in the foot. But in lieu of all of this, Kelsey is also physically assaulted by Torey. So my thing is, Kelsey is physically assaulted by Torey, and there's pictures of the bruises on her legs, the cuts on her legs. She had a missing piece of hair, and based on her testimony, she said Torey was dragging her and all these different things. So imagine how traumatic that is for her as well. So to know that she got into this altercation, she became a part of this full-blown altercation between Meg and Torey, and to know that she was assaulted in the process, she had bruises and all these other things, but for whatever reason, she was never actually taken to the emergency room. She was never actually checked out. And then to hear after the fact that when she attempted to contact Megan would not accept her calls, and the only communication she had was from Megan's team. So after a while of only being able to speak to the team, and she's like, no, wait, what's going on? I need to talk to Meg. At some point, eventually, Meg calls her. But at that time, some kind of way they're communicating. I don't know if it was I believe it was a call. Could have been a text message. But Meg contacts her and asks her if she wants her to make a statement, and does she want to be included? If she wants to be included in the statement that she's about to make, right? So Kelsey's like, yeah, I definitely would like for you to include me in that statement to clear my name, because right now people are thinking that I am part of the reason why you were shot, or I shot you. So then she says right after that, Meg posts the statement, but she didn't mention Kelsey, and she didn't clear Kelsey's name. So then Kelsey was upset about it, right after you just asked me if I wanted to be included in the statement so you can clear my name, and you post a statement and you don't mention anything. And then after Meg starts getting a lot of, heat and a lot of backlash from saying what happened, and I guess people not believing her statements, then Meg contacts Kelsey and is like trying to demand her, like, hey, you need to go online and tell the story about what happened. So of course Kelsey's like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I asked you to clear my name. You have people out here thinking that I shot you, and you refused to, you didn't clear my name. And I'm dealing with all kind of stuff. I have people cornering me in the stores. I have people calling me names, leaving posts, comments online. I go out somewhere. I don't feel safe because people are approaching me and telling me crazy things or bad things about how I'm a horrible friend and all these different things. I have no protection. So now I'm supposed to go online and on your behalf and tell what happened. And then it was also a thing of, well, if you're not pressing charges, why am I going to go online and say this? Because I understand in that predicament, if Kelsey would have went online and made this statement and openly said that, hey, I didn't shoot her, Torey shot her, then what position was that going to put? Kelsey was already catching a lot of heat because Meg never cleared her name, according to Kelsey. Again, according to Kelsey, Meg had not cleared her name. So I understand, like, why are you going to put me in more heat if I get on the internet now and say what happened? I already don't have any protection. I've already had to go back to Houston after giving up my apartment on your behalf. Like, I gave up my apartment because the agreement was I was going to come. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to travel with you as your personal assistant. And I got rid of my apartment in Houston. And now this situation has happened. And now it's kind of like the best thing for me to do at this point now is to go back to Houston. But I don't have an apartment now. So I'm already dealing with all this. I'm already still traumatized from being assaulted by Torey. Nobody called to check to see if I was okay. And and Kelsey did say she made several attempts to reach out to Megan to make sure she was okay and all these different things. Again, this is according to Kelsey's testimony. I didn't hear any audio from Meg other than what was at the trial. So if there is some additional audio where we can hear Meg's statement, great. That would be great. But I don't know the legalities on that and if that would ever be released. But anyway, according to Kelsey's statement, Meg never reached out. Meg never said, hey, are you okay? How are you feeling? I'm so sorry you were involved in this. Like, you got caught up in all of this mess. Nothing like that. Based on Kelsey's testimony, which sounds believable. Okay, but we'll never 100% know because we weren't there, right? We weren't a part of what occurred. But she does sound believable. So my question was then, well, damn, like, what happened to the friendship? I get it. Meg was traumatized. Come on, she had bullet fragments in her foot. But to also, like, not even communicate with your friend who got assaulted, taken up for you, is odd to me. Even if I got messed up like that, at some point I have to pick up the phone and say, hey, how are you? Are you okay? I'm so sorry you were in the middle of this. Like, to think that all of this happened and it was just kind of like she got left hanging, it's just crazy to me. And we already know that Meg's character is being called into question because of things that were revealed in court. You know, when she gave her statement. And of course, her not telling the truth to Gayle King when she did the interview. You know, she got on there. She said, no, nothing happened. But then she got in court and admitted, like, yes, things happened. I guess I don't get, like, I understand. Nobody wants to really, have to go on national TV and blast out people that they slept with, right? So I get that aspect of it. But at the same time, why schedule this huge? And I mean, Gayle King is a big deal. This was like no little local, news channel or something. This was like Gayle King. So I couldn't understand the concept of Meg wanted to go in there and get in front of this situation, but yet she still did not tell the truth. That main question that everybody was trying to get clarity on. And then you go into court and then you like, well, yeah, this did happen actually, and I was embarrassed. Which, again, I totally understand. Like, everybody's made mistakes at some point. All of us has probably dated somebody that we look back on and be like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, I would never in my right mind today be dating this person, right? So I get that part. But when, like, your credibility is hanging by a shred because of this case and everything that happened, I just would think on a national television with Gayle King of all people that she would have said, you know what? I was just in a bad place at the time. Yes, I was intimate with him. I was not thinking straight. I lost my mom, whatever. Like, people would have understood. So I didn't get that part, Meg. I really didn't get that part. But again, she has gotten justice. He's going to be sentenced soon. So we'll see how this turns out. I just wanted to state my piece on that. I am glad that Meg has gotten some justice because somebody should be held accountable for her ending up with bullet fragments in her feet. Well, we cannot ignore the fact that Meg did tell or not tell the whole truth, which was one of my main issues in the beginning, which is why I stopped reporting this after when it first occurred in 2020. I was getting frustrated. I'm like, every time she would come online and say what happened, there was some detail in there that wasn't adding up, that was like changing, and I would get frustrated. Like, well, Meg, if you said you were here, but then you looked back and you saw this, like certain things weren't clicking as far as the statement. And I also get, if a person is in a traumatic situation, is sometimes things aren't kind of remembered all at one time. So I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but that was really shiesty to get on national TV with Gayle King and be like, nah, this didn't happen. And also to not have been that great of a friend to Kelsey. Like, she got into all this, even if you ended up not being friends with her, like, to not even address the fact that she was assaulted by Torey because she got caught in the middle of whatever was going on with y'all. It's just cold. It's so cold. It's so cold. But Meg, she's talented. I'm sure she's probably going to bounce back. Her team's going to work with her, and they're going to figure out a way for her to make a comeback. I'm just glad the situation, has been resolved now at this point. We'll see how Torey Lanez' appeal works out, if he's able to appeal, and see what results come from that, guys. But it is what it is at this point. All I can do is wish everybody good luck and hope everybody learned from the situation and they can move on and have some peace. Okay? All right, you guys. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the commentary. If there were some things in there that I didn't get right, feel free to put it in the comments, but please be respectful. Please, let's not have, crazy attitudes or going at it and all this kind of stuff. We don't need any of that type of stuff, okay? Just be respectful. If there's some things in there that you would like to say in the commentary area, please do, okay? All right. Awesome. Smooches.